We are 2 days removed from Blood and Guts, and WWE superstars are still sounding off about Chris Jericho's fall. Here we have a story about another WWE superstar seemingly reacts to Chris Jericho's Blood and Guts fall. Shayna Baszler, one half of the WWE World Tag Team Champions, Women's Tag Team Champions, and the latest superstar, WWE superstar, to react to the ending of the Blood and Guts match this week on AEW Dynamite, where MJF pushed Chris Jericho off the top of the cell. So, obviously, we all know our feelings on these. We'll have different opinions on how this went down. But the first person to come out was Shotzi Blackheart when she took to Twitter after the Blood and Guts match and posted a gif of someone falling comfortably on a bed, referencing Jericho's controversial fall. This is what Shayna Baszler had to say. We don't actually want a village to be burned down by a dragon in Game of Thrones. If they did that, that would be really bad. But if the special effects would have been garbage, it would have sucked also, and everyone would have said so. Yes, nobody's actually complaining about the bump itself that Chris Jericho took it. It's the camera work involved and the production of it. The fact that the camera saw the sheet metal that was pretty much plywood, or just cheap wood, that's the problem that everybody has a problem with. And the fact that they shot it the way they did, where you could actually see it perfectly, see the big crash pad. They had to shoot it from a different angle, maybe from the cell on the ring in the cell, so that you would see him just land on it and that'll be it. Or the top view that we've seen circling around the internet from MJF above him would have been better off done that way. And nobody would have probably trashed it if they would have done it that way, because we all know they're landing on crash pads and everything that we've seen in wrestling previously. All the big spots, minus Mick Foley getting thrown off a Hell in a Cell, some of the ladder match bumps and stuff like that. We know the stuff off the stage, everything like that is done on crash pads. So we know what we're getting in all this when it comes to this stuff, but the production of it was the problem, and that's where it was done poorly. So people are sounding off. They're probably going to keep sounding off. Probably by next week, everybody forget about it. We just want to see the reaction AEW creates, or how the story progresses on AEW Dynamite this upcoming Wednesday. Let's get to this next story here. New Japan cancels Wrestle Grand Slam Yokohama and Tokyo Dome shows. So this is a COVID-19 deal right here. I thought we were kind of past the cancellation of shows and stuff like that, but we're still in certain spots of the world. We're still in these situations. So New Japan Pro Wrestling announced today that the Wrestle Grand Slam shows in Yokohama and Tokyo Dome shows have been canceled. They were originally scheduled on May 15th and May 29th respectively. The decision comes after the Japanese government announced an extension to the state of emergency currently in place in Tokyo and other places. The state of emergency has been extended for 3 weeks until the end of May. The only match that was announced for the shows was the May 29 Tokyo Dome show that had Okada and IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Will Ospreay in the main event. In their announcement, New Japan Pro Wrestling apologized for the news and announced that new dates will be finalized in the future. Earlier this week, New Japan Pro Wrestling announced that 2 wrestlers had tested positive for COVID-19, and the news comes as Osaka's medical system is reaching its limit and Tokyo nearing those levels as well. So we're still Japan themselves still having issues with COVID-19 where it's on the rise in certain areas. So that's bad news, terrible news that they had to cancel these shows. They'll be done in the future, but they're in a spot where they're still having these problems. They're still canceling some shows here and there. And, we'll see if it can progress and get a little bit better as time goes by in Japan. And they can get like a full crowds, and especially for the Tokyo Dome show in January. I hope the next Wrestle Kingdom is full fans and the COVID problem is completely gone at that point. We can only pray and hope for that. But the big match was Okada versus Ospreay for that title. So it sucks that's going to be pushed back, but we'll see as to when this will air and when this will happen. Let's get to this new story here. WWE announces a new title match for Wrestlemania Backlash. So Wrestlemania Backlash is next week, and WWE has announced a Smackdown Tag Team Titles match for the upcoming Wrestlemania Backlash pay-per-view. The match will see Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio challenge SmackDown champions Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. This is an interesting one. Okay, so let's look at the card so far. Triple threat match for WWE Championship: Braun, Drew McIntyre, and Bobby Lashley. We know that. SmackDown Women's title match: Bayley versus Bianca. We know that. Triple threat for the Raw Women's title: Charlotte, Asuka, and Rhea Ripley. We know that. The new match: Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio versus Dolph and Robert Roode for those. I think this we're going to swap the titles to give it to the Mysterios, because they already had the whole promo between them talking about how great it would be and it'd be the biggest accomplishment in Rey's career to win that title with his son. I think this is when they're gonna pull the trigger on putting the titles on these two, when they probably should have done a WrestleMania. It should have been a nice WrestleMania moment to have the father and son duo win the tag team titles. They're gonna do it now at WrestleMania Backlash. It was technically still kind of WrestleMania because the WrestleMania is still in the tagline, but it looks like this is the road they're gonna go. And it would be dumb to have this match put there and then them lose. They might as well swap these titles, because so I think they should have just done this match or had the titles swapped at WrestleMania rather than having that random SmackDown 4 tag team match for the titles on SmackDown. SmackDown should have done it at WrestleMania, swap the titles there, father and son win it at WrestleMania. Big moment, big WrestleMania moment for the two. Now I think they'll do it here at WrestleMania Backlash. I think it'd be a waste if they have them lose. and we'll see how they go from there. But it's another match added to a card that looks, you know, decent at this moment. They've come out a lot of good pay-per-views recently. The matches anyways have been really good for the most part for the last few pay-per-views or the last 6 months going back to SummerSlam. So, you know, we'll see how this all turns out, and we'll see, you know, if this team wins the title. I think they should. I think it'll be a good moment. I think it'll be a fun thing to have them have a run with the titles and give them something to do. Let's get this final story here, which is a big one. New Vince McMahon TV project in the work. Filmmaker Studios issued a casting call for a new scripted TV show on the life and career of WWE Chairman and CEO Vince McMahon. No Chance, the Vince McMahon story and the rise of the new wrestling world order is the working title for the project. Joseph Kruger is the director. The only position they are casting for as of now looks like to be the host role, indicating what kind of TV show this may be. Something along the lines of a 4 TV documentary. The production synopsis noted that this is a review retrospective and not a movie. Should be noted that this does not appear to be affiliated with WWE. Let's read this the production synopsis here. For decades, there were many professional wrestling territories across the United States. Each regional promotion was located and owned and offered its own distinct brand of wrestling, and homegrown superstars. Promoters would often cross-promote their wrestlers with other wrestlers in other promotions under the cooperation of the National Wrestling Alliance, which made it easy for wrestlers to go from one territory to the next and improve their craft. The territories had this system in place that worked well between the 1950s to the late 1970s. Then by the early 1980s, the rise of cable television began to raise the bar on wrestling territories and putting out a product that would appeal to a large audience. Few tried and had limited success until one third-generation entrepreneur saw the power of cable TV as his weapon to turn his regional promotion into a national promotion. Fueled with bold, creative flair of reimagining pro wrestling as sports entertainment, gave Vincent Kennedy McMahon the esteemed edge over his adversaries. It was his art of the hustle that led him to raging war on the top territories, AWA, Jim Crockett Promotions, Mid-South, and many others, and stunting their growth by raiding all their top talent. It was his novel and bold approach to pitch the Super Bowl of wrestling shows, WrestleMania, into hitting the pay-per-view stratosphere that wrestling would forever be changed forever. This isn't a movie, but a review retrospective that will dig deep in learning not only about Vince McMahon's adversaries, but how he outsmarted them all in associating USA Pro Wrestling with World Wrestling Federation. Learn more about other noteworthy performers who dared to try to oppose the young conqueror, in which we will focus on each territory's noteworthy plays and embarrassing mistakes made on their wrestling shows. So this is big news. I mean, who knows? I don't think it's affiliated with WWE at this point. Kind of interesting how they're going to be able to do that without being affiliated with WWE. They won't be able to talk to anybody that works in WWE, Bruce Pritchard, none of those guys like that. But it might be better that it's not affiliated with WWE, because you could probably get the nitty gritty stuff that he doesn't want to talk about or have shown out there that people will talk about. People that are disgruntled with the company or just don't like Vince McMahon, or just people that are just open and want to talk about it. You can get a Jim Cornette saying whatever the hell he wants, Jim Ross as well, Hulk Hogan. There's a lot of guys that they can talk to, and they'll get an inside look at, you know, Vince McMahon, even though you won't get it straight from the horse's mouth, Vince himself, but could be a good stuff. It could be a good one to watch. Will it be a Dark Side of the Ring type of thing? Will it be an episodic thing where they come out with multiple episodes and multiple chapters of his life? It's interesting to see how they'll talk to other promoters that are still alive, or people in those promotions, and get their, you know, firsthand knowledge of how everything went down when he came in and took their talent, took their TV, and everything like that. It's probably a lot of disgruntled individuals when it comes to that. But guys, that's the wrestling news and rumors for today. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Remember to drop a like on this video, helps out the YouTube algorithm. Hit the chair in the corner for a hits you first and sub to the channel, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.